Americans excitedly tuned into last night's debate, expecting to see a one-on-one battle between Kamala and Trump. But unbeknownst to everyone, two more people decided to insert themselves into proceedings: the ABC News moderators. Before it all even began, ABC News gave Kamala a specially designed smaller podium so she wouldn't look tiny compared to Trump.
So they're putting this as the stage. We're a little blinded where we're sitting, but the podium's here. Harris is going to be on the right.
Then the oh-so-impartial moderators proceeded to fact-check Trump all night, while failing to fact-check Harris even once. Project 25.
What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again.
Wrong. Project 2025 was written by the Heritage Foundation. It's not Trump's plan, and he's disavowed it several times.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Good. Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
The so-called abortion ban.
If Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban.
Wrong. Trump said repeatedly he won't sign a national abortion ban. Trump supported mobs of white supremacist neo-Nazis in Charlottesville and called them very fine people.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
Wrong. Even far-left Snopes admits it's a hoax. Trump made it clear at the time he was talking about people who were upset at statues being removed, not white supremacists who he specifically disavowed.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
Trump said there'd be a literal bloodbath in America if he lost the election.
Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath.
Wrong. He was talking about the economy, tariffs, and the auto industry.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars.
There's no credible reports of Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs.
I want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
Wrong. There's police reports, testimony by eyewitnesses, and video of people literally being arrested for it.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me.
But they conveniently forgot to mention that. Violent crime in America is going down, according to the FBI.
Migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But Vice President Harris,
the FBI...
Wrong. The data put out by the FBI doesn't even include major metropolitan areas, including Los Angeles and New York, where crime is historically high. The LAPD and NYPD are the two largest police forces in America, but they're not included in the FBI data. We're still forced to endure the narrative that Trump's a threat to democracy, when the Democrats literally just presided over a coup to kick Joe Biden out of office and replaced her with a woman who no one voted for.
She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her.
Megyn Kelly reacted by skewering ABC News for doing everything they could to help Kamala.
I'm disgusted. I'm ashamed of those moderators at ABC News. They did exactly what their bosses wanted them to do. The person who runs ABC News is a close personal friend of Kamala Harris, that is responsible for Kamala Harris and her husband meeting. And they did Dana Walden's bidding tonight. It was 3 against 1 on that debate stage this evening.
RFK Jr. also went off on them.
Fortunately, we had moderators who were clearly biased, who were constantly fact-checking Donald Trump. None of these kind of whoppers that the vice president was saying, and none of her failure to really explain that, answer that first question, that very, very critical first question. They simply sat there on the sidelines and allowed allowed that to pass.
The bias of the ABC News moderators was clearly one of the biggest stories to come out of the debate. Yet you wouldn't really know that if you only read post-debate reporting by the legacy media. Thanks to Ground News, the sponsor of today's video, I can instantly access every story on it and compare coverage. This looks like a bit of a blind spot for the left, with only 4 left-leaning sources even mentioning it, and even then under the banner of vague headlines like "Trump and Harris spar, ABC's moderators grapple with conducting a debate in a polarized country." Right-leaning sources like the New York Post are far more robust, with headlines like "Trump rattled as well-prepped Harris gets help from ABC debate moderators 3-on-1. Ground News helps me track all this and shines a spotlight on misleading narratives. You can check this out for yourself at ground.news/PJW. The link is down below. There are hundreds of articles worldwide talking about the debate, and you can access every single one on Ground News with context about the source of each publication. If you're a news junkie like me, Ground News is the Rosetta Stone of breaking news and media monitoring. Instead of wasting time wading through scores of different websites, everything is there in one place, helping you stay informed of breaking news developments as they happen, and more importantly, what the media isn't covering, which could lead to blind spots. And yes, they sponsor me, but I actually use their site daily. I've got Ground News bookmarked because it's an invaluable tool in crafting these very videos and the articles you'll read on my website. With the presidential election now less than 50 days away, you can follow breaking news on each candidate and all the key issues, as well as blind spots, stories being disproportionately covered by the media. So especially as we get closer to that fateful day, instead of arguing with that crazy uncle of yours, you can use Ground News to show them they might only be getting one side of the story. So it's never been a better time to check out ground.news/PJW, or scan the QR code on the screen. They're currently offering my viewers 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the one I use, for unlimited access. Crucially, they're independently owned and subscriber funded. Subscribers support their mission to hold the media accountable. And I can't emphasize this enough, but by supporting my sponsor, you support me directly. That's how I'm able to continue doing what I do. So thanks again to Ground News. Trump was fact-checked 4 times, Harris was fact-checked 0 times. Muir Davis pressed Trump 6 times for follow-ups, and they pressed Kamala 0 times for follow-ups.
It was obviously 3-on-1, but I think we did great.
Trump, the sky is blue. Moderator, well actually that's false. A study says the sky is green. Kamala, the moon is made of cheese. Moderator, okay, next question. When Trump wasn't being filibustered by fake fact checks, he did have some shining moments, landing a significant punch when it came to the subject of late-term abortions.
Will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v. Wade,
Answer the question, would you veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth. Just look at the governor, former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said, we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
As well as Kamala's non-existent policies.
And policies like they have. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it.
He also won the most viral moment of the evening.
Big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out.
And his closing statement was also powerful.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
The same media outlets responsible for rigging the debate naturally released polls after the fact saying that Kamala had won the debate. Now, to be fair, a lot of prominent Trump supporters aren't happy with his performance, saying he missed a lot of easy opportunities. But post-debate, even in CNN's poll, Americans trust Trump more with the economy. ABC News admitted that Harris did a pretty bad job of explaining her policies, which is the entire point of a debate.
Vice President Kamala Harris did not do a great job today really explaining her policy shifts, right? And that is what they have been seizing on. They're really trying to define her for voters when voters have a lot of questions about her policy positions.
And comments from people in post-debate focus groups suggest that Trump's core message hit the target.
Why didn't they do all the things that she's proposing during the 3.5 years that they've been in office? And Biden did this entire moderate stance back in 2020, and she's trying to do it again in 2024, but she didn't talk about her policy changes between 2020 and 2024. Her whole centrist moderate stance is just a facade.
We've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
What do you think about Trump's performance, and should he accept a second debate? Let me know in the comments down below. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.